And that's the importance of youth sports, is that it doesn't matter how you turn a double play at age 10. We would love for that to get better. But how do you interact with your coach? How do you interact with your parents after the game? Are you carrying your own bag in and out of the dugout, or does mom have to come grab your stuff for you? So those are lessons that I think are more important than how we play, where we play, how many USSSA wins we have, where we're ranked. And nothing against that lifestyle. It's just the focus needs to be on how good can we become as people, as opposed to sometimes baseball players.
Hey everyone, thanks so much for joining us for another episode of At Home with Emily, a podcast about creating a life you love. I'm your host, Emily Wood, and today we are starting a brand new series. It is the perfect time of year for this one, I think. It's all about kids and sports and what's the point of all of it, and how do we make decisions as a family, and what are your goals with your child playing sports, and what are your hopes and dreams? And with us today, we have the Drury Baseball Coach, Scott Nasby, with us. We're doing episode 33, and you just said 33 is your number.
That's been my number for a long time, so it was kind of cool to see that.
It was meant to be.
Thanks for having me.
We're just so glad that you're here, and you and I didn't necessarily know each other personally, but my child, who's in third grade, actually went to one of your baseball camps.
Yeah.
And it's a huge ordeal.
Yeah.
If you guys have never been a part of it and you have a kid interested in baseball, Coach does a big camp for all the kids in town. You got to sign up for it quick, and the instruction's great, but the highlight's the slip and slide.
Oh yeah, we
and the popsicles.
Yeah, we do it in June. We had 100 and maybe 80 kids split among 2 sessions last year, and the goal is to let them keep loving the game and have fun. And the slip and slide definitely is the finale, and younger siblings will jump in there too. So it's always fun to see kids from around the community on the field.
We have the coaches there, and sometimes you have some of your athletes out there helping as well. And I think that's so fun for the kids to get that interaction with the big boys, that they look up to and they watch. And one of the reasons that I wanted to have you on, with you being a baseball coach, I think you have such a great bird's eye view from being a coach at a high level, having played at every level yourself, and then also working with kids.
Yeah.
But you and I both know, the sports culture for youth has taken a lot of turns and accelerated, I guess, from whenever we were kids in the 90s or whatever. And so now, as a parent, it feels like you have to sort of jockey for a spot for your kid on a team, especially in baseball. It's 10 kids.
Yeah.
And you can kind of get edged out if you go the wrong way. And you feel like, do we just give up? And then on the other side, there's pressure to, hey, your kid's pretty good. Right. You know what? We could use a shortstop, and he's really good. So anyway, we're going to be traveling these next 7-8 weekends around the Midwest and beyond. And all of a sudden, for some reason, baseball and softball, and other ones too, have become travel sports.
Right.
And you and I were saying, by what, 6 or 7, you can...
Yeah, you can travel probably at 7 if there's 7U, 8U travel ball teams that, are playing on the weekends right now in different cities.
And is that something that you're doing with your son?
No, we are not. No, our son is 11. He's almost 12, so he's in 6th grade. And there's still avenues for kids to not play travel ball. My wife and I have discussed it numerous times, and he's in a unique situation where he can use our Drury facilities with me and get some different instruction. So he's a little bit different on that avenue. But there's plenty of opportunities to play locally, to find coaches locally, whether it be parks or rec or practice or lessons, without the financial loophole of having to travel and having to dedicate maybe 12 hotel stays from the spring and summer that a lot of families can't afford. So travel ball can be great, and it's something that families can discuss. And if that's something that they want to do, it's a tremendous thing. I did it from when I was probably 13 or 14 on, when I lived in California. And it's become more common, but baseball definitely has a financial piece to the puzzle that prices a lot of kids out.
Well, even just the equipment itself. I mean, even if you are playing locally.
Yeah.
And so I think, too, like what you said, the opportunity's there. Is that something that you would encourage families to aspire to at a young age?
In terms of traveling or in terms of
travel?
I would say try to figure out what the priority is for the family. My 11-year-old would love to play college baseball. He told me he's going to go play for LSU, or he's going to play for me for 3 years and go to the transfer portal and then go to LSU because they make more money there.
The portal, yes.
If he runs like me, no one's paying him any money. So the goal is to have fun. The goal is to learn from your failures. The goal is to have experiences with your family. And so I think that's a family discussion is, do you want to have experiences in Tulsa on the weekends in March, or are there other siblings that want to do other things? Are there family that we want to stay close to? Is it midweek practices with local teams that we can do? And there's lots of travel teams based in Springfield, based in other cities, and some travel more than others. But there's definitely teams that don't travel and the ability to continue to play without having to drive all over the Midwest.
Talk to me about specialization in sports at a young age. Is that something that concerns you as someone who watches the development of athletes all the way through?
Yeah, I think the goal is to make sure they're becoming active, stay active as long as they can, to figure out what they love. You can have a coach that doesn't mesh well with your son or daughter, and they could be out of that sport pretty quickly. Our son plays basketball, and it's definitely not his best sport. But we'd like to see him learn how to deal with the failures of struggling in something when he thrives at baseball. Our daughter plays volleyball, and she loves learning how to celebrate a win, a point, getting it over the net. And she could care less about winning or losing. And that's a great thing for a 10-year-old, to not care about winning and losing. The goal is to make sure the effort is there, the energy is there, and to make sure that there's life lessons being learned from the sports, as well as being active for sure.
Mm-hmm. But as far as the physical demands that we're putting on kids, can that actually be damaging long term? I
think there's certain things. You want to make sure you're around someone knowledgeable, especially if you're getting in the weight room with certain trainers, and there's lots of people in town.
Is there
an
age that's appropriate to start weights?
That's probably not a question for me yet. I mean,
you see it with little kids, but then I don't know.
Yeah, I think more training of running, jumping, learning how to fall down, learning how to get back up. Use
your feet and use your hands.
Right. I don't think we need to have a squat bar on our back at 12, but throwing things, catching things, sprinting, having fun. I remember just growing up, I was always active. We're always outside and playing basketball and rollerblading and playing baseball, playing football, and there didn't need to be a specialization. Not that there's anything wrong, but most kids aren't going to play professional sports. I mean, if you're a baseball player, you're not 6'3", you're probably not going to play professional baseball. It doesn't matter how much individual training you do as a 9-year-old. And so those things have to be kept in mind as you make decisions for your family about what do we want to do with our free time as our kids are 8 till 18.
When you are looking at athletes for your program, what are you looking for?
I'm mainly looking for good people, good families, good kids first. So Coach Stratton started our program in 2006, and we've had pretty much the 3 same things we're looking for, and we do it in this order. One, you got to be a good person. You got to do the right things for the right reason. You got to be able to handle failure. You got to be able to celebrate teammate success, and you should do the right things for the right reason, not because someone's watching and you want a reward out of that, but that's just how you were raised. 2, you got to be a good student. If you're not a good student, it's tough to get into school, it's tough to pass school, and it's tough to afford school. You want to try to get a good academic scholarship. And then 3, you need to be able to play. You need to be a good player. You need to be able to have room for improvement. And then you got to dedicate your body to being a college athlete, which is a 365 thing for the amount of time you're here.
I didn't hear much about athletics in that answer.
Yeah, I mean, we have 44 players on our team.
Yeah.
Right now we've got about 11 or 12 who are getting the bulk of the reps.
Okay.
In terms of hitting, we probably have about 8 to 10 pitchers who are getting the bulk of the innings. Not that those other kids can't do it, and they're working just as hard as everyone else, but you have to enjoy the process of showing up to practice, showing up to lifts, waking up early in the morning, being on the bus late at night, and enjoying that, as opposed to the end-all goal is I need to hit 350 today. I need to have 4 hits this weekend for me to be happy. And I think that's an important thing for families to instill in their kids is it doesn't really matter about stats. It's to make sure that we're improving and the effort's there and the attitude is there.
So do you have something that you watch for when you visit high school games or tournaments? Yeah,
I think like last week I went up and watched a game in Kansas City, and the kid I went to watch swung one time and that was all I got to see. So I need to watch how he runs on and off the field, how he cheers for his teammates. I want a kid in the dugout who is celebrating their teammates' success more than they celebrate their success. Because if you're only happy when you succeed, especially in baseball, it's a game of failure, you're going to spend most of the time pretty beat up. So I want someone who has good energy. That's one of the main things we're looking for when we watch games. I want to see someone who has the ability to physically mature a little bit, as well as respects their coaches and teammates on and off the field.
So once again, very little about athletics.
Yeah, there's so many things, and that's the importance of youth sports, is that it doesn't matter how you turn a double play at age 10. We would love for that to get better, but how do you interact with your coach? How do you interact with your parents after the game? Are you carrying your own bag in and out of the dugout, or does mom have to come grab your stuff for you? So those are lessons that I think are more important than how we play, where we play, how many USSSA wins we have, where we're ranked. And nothing against that lifestyle. It's just the focus needs to be on how good can we become as people, as opposed to sometimes baseball players.
What's it been like for you as a dad, being around youth sports and the current culture that we have? Things can get pretty heated on a baseball field.
Yeah.
I've seen it. I've seen coaches get way too upset.
Yeah.
And you have a bunch of little 6-year-old eyes watching that.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen, too, where I can see in the kids' eyes the pressure that they are feeling, especially in baseball. I mean, all eyes are on you when those bases are loaded.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going up to hit that ball.
Yeah.
And you may strike out. What's it been like for you to watch that? And what would you like it to be like for the kids?
Yeah. I think baseball can put a lot of pressure on you because it is an individual sport in a team setting. If you turn the ball over in basketball, you immediately have to run to the next play, and there's 10 other people on the court who can touch that ball at any time. Where if you're standing at shortstop and you make an error, that was your error. That was an individual error, and so you have to be able to have the skills to deal with that, as well as it's a slower game. There's lots of standing around in baseball and lots of thinking. So it's mainly making sure that our kids have the right mindset of what's the most important thing that we're doing out here. And we've preached to our guys. We have a little mini Panther team that's a 12U team, is have fun first, run like your hair is on fire, making sure all your effort and energy is expended on the field. And make sure you respect your teammates and your opponent. So if we can make sure that those things are the priority, then I think you have kids who become less stressed when they struggle on the field. If they focus more on their practice, they focus more on how quick they run on and off the field than they do if they get a hit or if they strike out, then they're going to become less frustrated with those failures, and they can deal with those failures a little bit better because the priorities are more in line.
Well, I'm going to let you speak to the parents.
Yeah.
Since you're here, since you're in the hot seat. And to me as a mom, I mean, baseball, I do think, is a tough one because your heart falls.
Yeah.
Your kid has the ability and they get up there and they strike out and game's over.
Yeah.
9th inning, whatever, that's it. Your heart does fall for them. But also as a parent, you want to be able to give your kid a hug and tell them great job when they walk off the field. So what is your advice to parents who struggle to do that and who maybe want to say some other things to their kid? I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of pressure on children, and I hate to see that. Yeah,
I think that especially after games, in the car, you don't need to discuss what they did.
To go over every little
thing. Why
thing.
didn't you swing at that curveball? Hey, what happened on that ground ball? Why weren't you backing someone up? And same thing, like
that's got to be hard for you too.
Love to see the energy on the home run, those type of positive things, but less about the actual successes or failures on the field, as opposed to, I love seeing you play. I love seeing the energy. When Jace hit that home run, I love that you were excited in the dugout, or I saw you paying attention in the dugout. I'm proud of you. Unless you're the coach or unless you're spending extra time playing catch or hitting ground balls, probably doesn't need to be too much instruction or why are you doing this? Why are you not doing this? That would be the coach's job to do. And so I'm kind of in the middle and there with my son of, you know.
Because you actually are a coach.
Right. And
Yeah.
and his coach, because me and RJ Neese, who played for me, and his son is the same age. So we're on the same little 12U team of, you know, I'm his coach, but I'm his father first. So I want to make sure that I'm helping build these things.
Right.
But he also needs to listen to what we're doing instruction-wise. But the parents of the kids on our team, that they don't need to yell out from the stands ever. I mean, they can cheer, but
it happens sometimes.
You shouldn't be yelling out, move your hands here, move your feet here, make sure, you know, it's positive praise of swing hard, have fun, you know, hustle on and off the field. And those are things that probably can be addressed from a parent is the hustle, the energy, and the effort, and the attitude. But probably not, hey.
Hustle, energy, effort, attitude.
Attitude, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Remember that.
Yeah.
Hustle, energy, effort, attitude.
Yeah.
Not how the swing looked.
Yeah, not why didn't you swing at the bases loaded? You could have got an extra RBI and won. Like, who cares? It's a 10U game, whether you win or lose. I just want to see when you did strike out, are you there to support them?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I think exactly what you just said. Who cares?
Right.
And you, as really, truly, as a college scout,
Yeah.
which is what you are many times out there, you're not looking for the win or loss either.
No, and in the summer we never see, which is kind of strange that I do watch travel ball, but really not until 16 or 17 kids. And there's some Division I programs who maybe look at kids a little bit earlier, and there's definitely avenues to be seen. No one's going to watch a 14U SSSA game or a summer showcase or recruiting 8th graders. And so the focus is to mature physically and then see what happens, but have fun until that happens.
And what about the fear of being left behind? Because there is a fear of missing out that is sewn into the fabric of youth sports right now.
Yeah.
Well, you didn't get a spot on that team, so you're never going to get a spot on a team.
Yeah, that's tough, especially when you have some elite travel teams and think I didn't make this team, so I can't play. But a lot of guys on our team, we have a homeschool kid who never played travel baseball. We have our best pitcher never made his high school team. He played for Lee Summit West, Cody Ball. And he was focused on communications. He wanted to be a journalist. He tried out as a freshman, didn't make it, didn't try out the next couple years, came down on a visit to Drury. He played summer ball with the travel team, but never played spring ball. And then made the team his senior year of high school, but it was COVID, so it never happened.
Wow.
And now he's our best pitcher. He's going to potentially leave us the all-time wins leader in Drury history. So certain kids mature at different times. You know?
And there's lots of paths to the same destination.
Yeah, for sure.
And exactly what you just said, too, especially with boys, they could be maturing yet in college, right?
Correct. Yeah, there's kids who are still growing for us, and there's kids who've been 6'2" since ninth grade year. So physicality, for sure, in baseball is a huge difference. Basketball, football, you know, those sports that 6th to 8th grade to 9th grade is make sure they're still having fun, make sure their mindset's in a good spot, and you know if they're 6'3" in the future, then maybe we should dedicate some more time to travel ball and a trainer and becoming more physical. But you know, if my son's slow and 5'9" when he gets done, he's probably not going to play professional baseball. And we want to make sure that we have the foundation of he really enjoyed his career, he really enjoyed the activities that we did, and he's a student of the game and absolutely loves every day we play.
And ultimately, your relationship with him is more important than his baseball stats, right?
Yeah, my relationship with him has nothing to do with his successes on and off the field. If he tells me today he wants to quit baseball, I'd be completely fine with that. I want him to be active. I want him to be happy. He'd have to replace that with some other type of activity because he spends so much time. And he was up at 6 in the morning watching the Cubs and Dodgers play this morning. So it's something that can consume you when you become a sports nut. But I think families have to understand you may be the sports nut, but try to figure out if your kids are also a sports nut as well before you make them do things that they may not want to do in the future.
And ultimately, what is your hope for families in sports? What should the ultimate goal be?
I think the ultimate goal is to build relationships and build resilient kids. You know, kids who can handle failure, kids who, maybe they really enjoy traveling around the Midwest, and that's something that they do in the future and they do with their families. But it shouldn't be a negative outcome or a negative experience for the kids, no matter what level it is. If they don't like practicing and the effort's not there, yeah, you should finish a season. You should do something else, but maybe let them try something else. If baseball isn't their thing, then go play volleyball. Go play soccer. Go play pickleball. We have a pickleball team now at Drury. So, but be active, be outside, especially this time of year when the weather's starting to get nice. Go ride a bike. Go hike a trail. The goal is for our kids is to be healthy and active and be happy.
Thank you, Coach. I appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
And thank you guys for joining us for this episode of At Home with Emily. If you are watching us on YouTube, please be sure to go ahead and like and subscribe so you're notified when our next episode drops. We have a new one coming out every Wednesday, and the next 3 episodes are going to be looking at different aspects of youth sports and giving you the tools that you need as a parent to make those decisions for your family. Be sure to watch us on Instagram and Facebook, and also head to AroundTheOzarks.com and sign up for our daily newsletter. We'll see you next time.